What a beautiful day to go to the office.
Alright, hi guys. Today we have Emmanuel from Geekception in the house. Woo! Why tech review?
So I've always loved tech, and I think I started in 2005. I started a blog back home. I was a writer slash blogger for about 6 years, 4 out of that professionally. So when I came out of high school, I got employed to the largest tech blog in Nigeria.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, as a writer, senior writer there. I did that for a while. I did radio as well. So I did radio back home. I was a radio show host for a tech show back home.
Yeah.
So lots of tech, yeah.
Oh,
so
wow.
all of this was before I got into university. So when I got into university at 19, I got into university back home in my country, Nigeria, to study
So you're not exactly an amateur then, because you've done professionally first before even you went to university, right?
Yeah. So by the time I got to university, for computer science, I'd already been a programmer. I used to code in Java for about 3 years already, because when I finished high school, I did not go to uni directly. I took 3 gap years. So in that 3 years, I was able to do all the stuff I told you about, the writing. So I used to travel a lot for writing, and I think I was 17 then. But I used to, it was very exciting. I knew all the Microsofts, all the Facebooks, BlackBerry, and all of that back in Nigeria.
So this is while you were waiting to go to college?
Technically, I was waiting, but for me,
or you took a break.
I took a break.
Right.
My mom does not know that.
Share this video anyway.
That was sort of my history. So when I came to Malaysia to study IT, because when I did computer science at home, I really didn't like it. Subjects we were doing in computer science, they were really outdated. So for people who know about computer science, they were teaching us COBOL, Common Business Language, and Fortran, which is languages of like
I
the
started
80s.
with Fortran.
Exactly right. So,
which is why I'm not a programmer now.
Exactly. So, but you make big bucks, because
Oh, yeah, I know.
you can support all the legacy systems. But yeah, so from that, I was like, okay, this is crap. So I decided to, my mom was okay, Mano, what do you want to do? I was like, either I drop out or I go outside the country, because that's where I think I can get a good education for what I want to do. So that's how I came to Malaysia to do IT. And I think I started Geekception after 1 year here, because sort of everything I'd already had back home, all the connections, all the contacts, the history and everything. When I came here, it's sort of zero.
Right.
So I had to start from scratch again, message Facebook pages of, the Oppos and the Samsung, and tell them I have a YouTube channel. Can you send me your phone? And I would not get any reply, just plugged at it for 1 year until I started like actually getting something. And yeah, that's the story behind Geekception.
Right. So you're from Nigeria, right?
Yes, I'm from
Which part of Nigeria?
I'm from Ogun State.
Oh, okay, never heard of that. So that's not
It's
main city? Is it?
Yes, it's right next to Lagos State. So Lagos State is
very close.
Yeah, very close. Like
So that's like Klang.
Yeah, pretty much. I come from the clan. Fun fact, Nigeria has about 26 million people. Almost the whole population of Malaysia, so
yeah,
it's very big.
So I have a few friends in Nigeria now, so
I know.
So I'm always learning a lot of things about Nigeria.
We actually connected through one of our friends.
Yeah,
Kyrie.
so I actually met Emmanuel through a mutual friend who's also Nigerian. That's how I got to know him. And when we first met, how many subscribers you had?
I don't remember.
1,000, 2,000 plus?
Yeah.
You kind of knew when you were starting out. When we first met, we had some discussions about video and all. And I should have started my vlog that time. It was like 3-4 years ago. I would have had more subscribers by now. Exactly. Okay, I'm not a videographer, so I don't know how to edit videos. I usually shoot and then I give it to my staff to edit. So we do video production here at the agency. Of course, I have a video team that handles that. The last I checked, you have 23,000 YouTube subscribers.
Yeah.
How is that? How does that make you feel?
For me, I think the number is not really that important. I mean, I know it sounds cliche, but for me, I think the most important thing is my art. How I'm able to create, I think, is a priority for me.
Okay.
So I think there was a time where I did daily uploads, where I did uploads every single day, and I think I maxed it out at 56 days. Right now, it's not so much so about the numbers, but it's about the fulfillment of the art, right? Like, do I actually like what I'm doing? Right. Is it something that, like I would say, is it something that gives me joy? It sounds very cliche, right? But
it's true, right? Right. When we do some things for passion.
Exactly.
It always sounds cliche, but if that's what you're doing it for, then that's what you're doing it for, right?
Exactly. So after 500 plus uploads to YouTube, I would say, yeah, right now it's more of like how do I add an extra dimension? Because when you start, right, you sort of have this image in your head of what you want to produce. You have this end goal in mind. You can see it, right? Maybe you cannot do it because you don't have the skills or you don't have the technicalities, but you sort of have that image. And I think right now I'm most dedicated to releasing that image right now. Yeah, so that has mean I've had to change quite a bit about the channel. So initially it was like do everything. So again, I was.
So you didn't have a direction initially. It was a bit wider.
It was not, yeah, it was everything. Unboxing. When I get a product, I'll do maybe 5 videos on it. So it's unboxing, it's review, it's comparison, it's this, it's that.
Oh, so with one product you have
with
multiple
one product,
videos.
I have multiple videos. So now I'm sort of converging towards more feature stuff, right? So I discovered recently, at least last year, I took a break from YouTube. So in that time, I shot a lot of documentaries or mini documentaries, and I discovered that I love storytelling. I love being able to craft a story around something. And with Geekception, that's sort of where I'm heading to right now, where I want to be able to craft stories in tech. So yeah, I think it will mean less volume, but I think it will mean more quality. Right now, I'm currently working on something for 5G. So I'm talking to the partners, sort of Samsung and stuff, with consumer-facing products.
But is that the audience of your channel?
Well,
are they all tech guys, or do you have a lot of regular consumers who just like to see what you have on a new phone?
I think a bit of both. A bit of both. Where I have people who obviously came for the reviews. They came for the unboxings and all of that. For the first time to the world, I'm actually launching a new channel, so you'll be hearing it here first.
Nice.
So for myself, actually. So I've discovered that throughout all the stuff I've done. So when I first had my blog, it was called The Imagination. So EMMAgination is a play on my name, Emmanuel. And,
so this will be your vlog then?
Yes, sort of. So this will be sort of my own space where I get to share my own stories, my own behind the scenes.
Hey, so now you're coming to my space.
Exactly.
That's what I'm doing.
And soon you're going to come to my space.
No, because people keep asking me, what's this? What's your channel about? Like, you're going to review stuff? I'm like, no, I'm just going to put whatever I'm doing.
Exactly.
If people find it interesting, they can watch. If they don't find it interesting, then they don't have to watch.
They can move on,
because I want to share what I'm doing. I actually already learned so much just from setting up the cameras, because our friend here brought his own camera and did some setup. I'm not a Sony guy, so he's obviously hardcore into Sony now. I've learned that in the last half an hour. So I learned so much about handling the Sony camera from him. So this is a good thing. I have to do this more often.
Of course, and there's so much more for me to learn from, I think, the business side of things, production as a whole. Because for me, I've been a solo / maybe just with one of my closest friend, Ben. So I've not really been, even the clients I've had have sort of still been on a small scale. So definitely when I want to go more big scale, you're the guy, I think, you're one of the guys I would want to talk to in how it all works and everything.
I'm happy to help. I think a lot of people are always curious about how do you make money from YouTube.
Yeah.
Again, for me, it's not a big deal because
of course, because you're a boss school, you don't know why does it?
So when I started the YouTube channel, I mean, I don't think I'm gonna make so much money out of this. Probably I won't even make any money, because for me, it's about creating a platform. Because I do a lot of programs for entrepreneurs, for startups, and all that. So I thought if I have my own platform, I can promote my programs or any activities that I do. Me meeting entrepreneurs and mentoring them and all. For me, it's about creating a platform. But if someday I make money out of it, it'll be nice. It's always nice to make more money.
It's always nice to make more money.
Yeah, so I'm sure.
Inbaraj 2020.
So I'm sure people are also curious whether you do you make money out of this?
Yes, I do. So there are a few ways to make money on YouTube for people that are interested. So definitely the first one is via Google AdSense. So for people that don't know, Google AdSense is Google's ad service. So for example, when you go to a video and you see an ad for Vivo or Huawei or Petronas, right? So when someone watches that video, you make some certain cents on it. So you're not making millions, okay? You're making cents per video. So it becomes a lot when it's at scale, right? So for example, it's called cost per mile. So that means that $1 perhaps in Malaysia is equals to 1,000 views or 2,000 views.
You can watch a lot of YouTubers in US like talking about this, how much money they make from the channel, how YouTube pays them and all that. So is that the same way how it works in Malaysia?
It is. But
are we getting paid cheaper here?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So if
we're getting a bad deal here.
Yes. So Southeast Asia especially is very notorious. So if your viewers primarily are from Southeast Asia, which mine are, so my number one audience is from Philippines and Indonesia. Then
so you've gone regional?
Yes, it's very regional. So because the products I cover are regional products, right? Malaysia, then I have a bit of India there, I have a bit of the United States. So per mile, maybe it's not $1 for Southeast Asia, maybe it's 60 cents. Maybe it's 50 cents.
Lower.
Yeah, it is definitely lower. So when I make videos that are international, I make a lot of money because if viewers from America are watching it, Europe are watching it, it's like 1.5 there.
But that purely depends on the content, right?
Yes, it depends on the ad that is put against the content. So, for example, if you're watching it in Malaysia, for example, you see a Petronas ad.
Right.
But if you're watching it in the US, maybe you're going to see a T-Mobile ad. Right, so T-Mobile is definitely going to pay more.
So if you design your content that can relate to an international audience, then you might end up making more money.
Yes. In
so
fact,
it's not consistent then.
Yeah, it's not.
Depends on the video.
Yes, exactly. It
Cool.
depends on the video. So that's one way to make money. Another way is via sponsored deals. On my channel, Geekception, I don't sell reviews. So usually I try to have a value add because I believe reviews should be independent. I should not be paid to say this product is great, right? So for me, basically what I offer is, I offer, let's say the brand says, this is what is great about my product. My product has the best camera in the world, and this is what I want you to show. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to take the product, I'm going to use it, I'm going to, see if your phone is actually good. Going to test it, because if I'm recommending it to you and I'm getting paid for that, because if I do a feature, whether I like it or not, it's recommendation of some sort, which I take very serious. So because of that, after I've tested it out and say, okay, it is what you say it is, I'm going to then say, okay, if you want me to, let's say, for example, with ASUS, we did a thing where I went all around KL showing, because I love showing stuff around to my friends, to people I meet. So I took my viewers around KL and, showed them landmarks of KL. And I used the phone to sort of demonstrate that, taking photos along the way, taking videos. So it becomes an extra thing on top. Right,
nice.
So so instead of like just a blatant, this is the phone, this is why you should use the phone,
instead of people just seeing a gadget, now they get to see more stuff.
Exactly. So I try to
enriching the video.
Yes, I try to craft my campaign around that, and that's another.
But if you test something, and then if let's say you're not happy with it, do you then say?
I have turned down very big bucks, but I tend not to care so much because number one, I'm not local, so usually some intricacies that locals will perhaps follow in, how I should approach this, how I should say this, how I should save my face for this. Usually I don't care that much. So usually for clients that bring their script immediately, because there are some clients that will bring their script and say, this is what we want you to say, I've turned that down several times. In fact, many more times. Then
you just don't accept
I just don't accept it at all.
But if they give you the free reign,
and
if you don't give them like 100% rating, they still pay you, right?
Yeah, of course.
So those are the nicer clients. That's the kind of clients I like to work with.
Doing 5-10 revisions because 5 people up the bureaucracy are like, no, why did you say that one word there? Okay, reshoot it. Life is too short for that.
I think then they have to go to an agency, right?
Then
they don't go to an influencer, YouTuber.
Exactly.
Then you go to an agency, get them to hire an actor, put them in place. Why tech review? So when you decided to start a YouTube channel, is that like a natural thing, like let's do a tech review channel, or did you like take some time to research this?
Well, I guess it was a bit of both. So like I said, I'd been writing before I came here, and even when I came here, I still sort of had my writing gig, but Nigeria is 7 hours behind time difference wise, and it was
sort of
still
hard writing for your
so it was
channel.
Very hard to keep up with Nigeria and all of that. So I sort of had to naturally stop writing. Right. And I think for that 1 year where I was here, the first year, I sort of had this place where I was like, what do I want to do next? I don't know. I mean, I want to write, but then writing is, because when I started writing in 2007, it was like super niche. Almost nobody was doing tech writing, but by 2013, I mean, everybody and their cat had a blog, right? So it was, what do you do next? How do you...
I used to be a blogger, and then I quit.
So
I quit right when monetization became a trend.
Became a thing.
Because when I started like live journal, you have to pay to get into live journal, or somebody has to invite you. So it was a very elite crowd. And then they opened it up, and then this whole monetization came in. So everybody started writing blogs to make money. And then the content just went to shits, right? Then it's no longer genuine. People are not sharing what they want to share because they're genuine about it. It's more like, okay, what can I share to make money?
You get paid,
So that kind of put me off. So I still have some of those fans from the blogging days who still follow me on Twitter and all.
Nice.
And I mean, now we've become friends because we've known each other for like more than a decade now. Anyway, why Malaysia? Is Malaysia famous in Nigeria? Do a lot of people come here to study, or is this something you personally picked?
I think it's something I personally picked because I remember when I was a kid, I had an Xbox, the first one, right? The huge one. So, and I used to like tinkering from when I was a kid. I'll take everything apart and put it back together. And I remember when I flipped it over and I actually wanted to take it apart, I saw a sticker there where it said "Made in Malaysia."
Oh.
Yeah. I bet you didn't even know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, exactly. So, because it wasn't
So we make Xbox in Malaysia. I just found out.
So that name kind of stuck with me. So when I was in university and I was about to drop out, and my mom obviously didn't want me to drop out because, there's a bad reputation for a kid that dropped out. So she's like, okay, what do you want to do? And I'm like, okay, it's either I drop out and go chart my own cause. I was comfortable with that, or I go abroad and go get an education abroad, and she was okay, which place do you want to go abroad? And Malaysia literally just came to my mind at that moment.
Okay.
So then I did some research. I talked to a few people. One of my mutual friends was studying here in Malaysia, so they put me in contact with him. Our mutual friend Kayode was also here, so they put me in contact with him.
He was living here.
Yeah. So that's how I just did the whole process about in a year, and I was here 1 year later.
How Malaysian are you now? Because I think you've been here for a while. I mean, now you're obviously local now.
Yeah, man, spent too long here.
So obviously most of your friends are Chinese.
Well, I do the Chinese well because that was the first thing that stuck to me. Right. Really, like that was the first thing. So I can speak a little Malay here and there. I can sing the national anthem, right, if that counts.
How much do you like Malaysian food?
Malaysian food is okay.
How different is it than what you had back home?
Very different, I think. Okay. Very different in style, in preparation.
No similarities at all.
Similarity, rice. We like rice. Okay. We both like rice. Yeah. So, but apart from that,
I'm Indian. I have to like rice. It's in the DNA.
It's like you look at the DNA. Indian.
But I actually grew up eating a lot of Chinese food.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like if on my own I have to choose when I was young, I'll always pick Chinese food.
So when I came to Malaysia, I was 66 kgs.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was pretty skinny, and after 1 year, I was about 77. Right. So yeah, Malaysia the food is good to the stage.
It happens to everyone. Everyone who comes here. I also think that's what makes people fall in love with this place. I mean, we have our flaws. You start eating the local food. I think then eventually you end up falling in love with this place.
It gets to you.
So how long was it before you started making money? Like from the first video you uploaded, how long did it take you to start making some kind of real money, either from ads or from whatever sponsorship deals?
I think it's 2 years plus, 2.5 years. Yeah. So it was 2 years of a lot of grinding. There was a time where I had 2 events in a day, and I had 2 classes the same day. So I'll go to class in the morning, go to event at Sunway, come back to Pusat Damansara for class, then go to another event at Bangsar, then get home.
Did your lecturers know that you're a YouTuber?
Yeah. So I think I used to, because I'm an IT major, right? So, but then I stopped giving a hoot about IT, and then they would, they actually sat me down, my dean, she sat me down, she was like, Emmanuel, what are you doing? You're here to study, I was like, yeah, I know. She said, hey, why you doing all these video things and all? I think I had no social life back then. It was just shoot, edit, and gym. So I used to go to...
So you've graduated?
Yeah, I'm doing my master's now, actually.
Nice.
So, yeah. So, but back then, it was super stressful. And it was a lot of, I think the only thing I did back then was go to events, shoot videos, go to the gym, edit, and maybe rarely sleep. I think I went to the gym 6 days a week back then. Yeah. So that was...
those were the days.
Good old days.
For me, it's very hard to keep that routine.
Yeah.
So if I go to gym, it has to be Monday to Friday. Yeah. And the moment I stop, or if I start to do that every other day, and then it just screws up the whole routine, and then it's very hard to get back to the routine.
That's true.
So this is me now without the routine. So if I go back to gym 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, I look a bit different.
I know because he's not going to stop posting it.
Now I have this lower back problem. So
is it?
So when I go to gym few months, then I might crack something, and then I have to recover. So I will take a phase off, and then I'll go back to that.
You know what they say, kids? Don't grow old, okay? This is what happens when you grow old.
No, the problem is people think I'm young. So when I talk about all this back pain and all, right? They're like,
hey, why?
I still have people telling me I look 29. They think I'm in my early 30s.
Lies, you look 55.
See, only guys say that. Only guys say that.
Lies.
The girls always say I look 29.
Stop lying, girls, okay? Don't make him feel good, okay?
I mean, maybe it's just good genes. Yeah.
Or they're just trying to make him feel better.
We don't all get lucky in many ways. So whatever we get, we take. Beggars can't be choosers, right? So whatever you get, you take it. You run with it.
You've obviously not met some beggars. So that's why Inbaraj is going to give me some money before I leave here today. I'm a humble beggar, okay? Whatever he gives me, I'll take. You've heard it here first.
I need 1,000. I need 1,000 subscribers before I do my giveaway. Factories shutting down across China. I have a feeling like all my cameras are going to be collector's items soon. Because I'm waiting for the Canon R5. I have a feeling it may not come out if they shut down the factories. Or if they move all this production to other countries, probably the cost will blow up. So the iPhone 11 Pro might be the last iPhone you see in a while. Alright, so you're a YouTuber. Gear is very important to you. So what gear do you use to make your videos?
So right now I use a Sony 6300, this one right here for my main angle. For my second angle I use a Canon 700D. For my lens, which I think is the most important piece of my kit, I use the Sigma 18-35 f1.8. And what is very nice about the lens is that it is the YouTuber lens, or that is what it is called, because it's not cheap, but it's very accessible, which means the focal length is how long the lens is.
So that's the lens we are shooting here now, right?
Yes, that's the lens we're shooting on right now.
This one.
So yeah, the focal length is very good, 18 to 35, which is a good enough. If you put it on a body like mine, which is the Sony A6300, it gives you enough range, and it's very, very sharp. You know, it rivals the super expensive $100,000.
So I recently got this one. This is the 35mm 1.8.
Yeah.
So I read a lot of reviews, and this was slightly cheaper, and the bit more expensive one is the G Master lens and all, right? So I think this is like half the price of the G Master lens. So I thought, okay, let's go with this first. So this is not the popular YouTuber lens, but because I wanted a prime lens, 35 fix. So this so far is pretty good, pretty sharp. Hopefully that works.
And then for also my piece of gear, so I sort of have different accessories to make whatever it is I have work.
Let's see.
I sort of have different accessories to make all my gear work. So, you know, I have, as you can see right there, I have the battery connected to the camera. I have the cage, which makes it super easy for me to fix stuff onto it. So, which means that, you know, I have a recorder I use as well, a Zoom H5. You know, I have a Boya P1000, I believe is the name, for my shotgun mic. You know, for my computer, I sort of built my own Macintosh computer. Yes, so because Apple prices are absolutely crazy. So I basically took apart my PC I already had before, my Acer desktop. You know, I took that apart, ripped out the processor, you know, bought a new motherboard, and, you know, put together everything and basically installed Mac OS.
That's how I got into computers, right? Hardware. Because actually I had a friend who worked in a computer shop. So that's where I got my computer education. I used to go hang out there with my friend. So they used to take apart computers and put it back together. And that's how I learned how to build a PC from scratch. That's also where I learned a lot of, you know, all the dirty tricks of what they do. When you send your computers to a computer shop, the first thing they'll do is scan your hard disk. Find for all your videos, and if you have deleted those videos, they will run an undelete program. So if you ever have a device, a hard drive with a lot of private videos you don't want to share or you don't want them to leak, just burn those hard disks.
Literally.
Yeah, just if it's broken, just take it out, just burn it, or, you know, attach it to a C4 and never send it to a computer shop. They will always copy out the files first and fix it for you. And then they'll have access to all your private videos. That's how a lot of videos get leaked, actually.
Oh, really?
You know, every time you send a broken phone to a shop, they will run some undelete software and try to.
Oh, damn.
That's how all those, you know, mobile clips, the 3GP clips.
Oh, wow.
That's how you can find all this collection with 500 videos in a folder. On some forum on the internet, because people rarely share these things. See, that's the thing, right?
That's true.
Especially in our society, people don't take private videos and then share them.
Yeah.
Now they do. Now in 2020, people do. But I'm talking about, like, you know, 20, 15 years ago.
When are you going to open your OnlyFans, Inbaraj?
I don't think even my wife will subscribe to that. Like, so I'm not going to make any money out of that. So that's something you should remember. You know, privacy is very important. Some people don't give a shit about other people's privacy.
True.
You know, as long as there's a video, there's a leaked video online, people happily share it. They don't think about the consequences. But you know, it doesn't have to happen to you until before you realize that this is, you know, it's not something nice.
There's this, which is super vital. So wait, let me show you this part first. So it's not a makeup palette, because the first comment I always get is, Emmanuel, what are you doing with makeup? You know, it's not a makeup palette, so it basically.
By the way, there's nothing wrong with men using makeup.
Absolutely not.
Fine.
Absolutely not. But in the context of what I'm talking about, you know, people are usually shocked, like, huh? What is this? But it's called a color checker. So basically,
I need to get one of those. Yeah.
Yes, it costs $900, by the way. So it's a color checker. So I'm someone who I'm very particular about colors on video, because most camera manufacturers don't shoot for darker skin. So usually when you record darker skin like mine, it usually comes out orange. It turns me orange, right? So because of that, I have to manually always adjust it. So I learned how to actually properly, you know, do the masking and all of that. But from my man Inbaraj here, when you try to get a white balance, which is an image that looks like true to life, it's usually much more harder than it seems. So this makes it super easy.
For me, starting this whole YouTube channel is about learning something new. So every episode I do, every gadget or camera that I'm using, hopefully I learn more about. So although I've had this camera for probably more than a year now, but I've never used it because I always get my staff to use it. But now I've been using it, so I learn a lot of things, all the features that's in there, which is pretty good. Before we end this, any shout outs, anything you want to say, or you shared about your new upcoming channel.
Yes.
Have you decided on the name and all that, or is something new that you'll announce?
Well, I'm announcing it here, so definitely if you're watching right now, you have the privilege to actually get behind the scenes information only at Inbaraj's channel. So make sure you hit that like button and make sure you subscribe so you can get more, tips and behind the scenes look like this. I don't have a URL already, but I'll pass that to you.
So once I get that, I'll put it in the description.
Yes. So basically, it's my own name. It's going to be my own name. For the first time in my life, I'm actually using my name, because usually I don't use my name, whether it's Geekception, whether it's Imagination. It's a brand, because I've always sort of had this thing with building brands, and it's going to be, I think, a much more personal thing. So where I think Geekception is not really built for me to share my personal stuff. So I think this is where, I'm going to share my challenges of, being in a different country, like I am here in Malaysia, challenges with women, challenges with life, challenges.
Do you have a girlfriend?
No, I do not officially have a girlfriend.
Still
officially.
Single. So ladies, all you single ladies out there, if Tinder is not working out for you, there's always Geekception and the new channel for Emmanuel. Check it out.
Yes. Thank you very much.
All right, guys. So thank you so much for dropping by.
Thank you.
I think it's been a great chat.
Definitely.
It's been a while since we met, and it's great to have this chat. And also, for me as a new YouTuber getting into this,
content creator.
Yeah. Okay. So many terms for it now.
There is.
Right. So for someone who makes YouTube videos, I hope to bring interesting content, but at the same time, I want to learn a lot of things. So I have to learn things from guys who have been doing it way longer. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
This last 1 hour, I've learned so much, even from the setup all the way to shooting this video. Okay, so if you guys are interested in tech review and gadgets in general, there's Geekception. Emmanuel does amazing reviews. Some of his reviews are really awesome. I've watched many of his videos, and sometimes I feel like switching to Android. After you're watching your review, I'm like, no, you know what? I'm gonna stick to the iPhone. If you guys are into that, please subscribe to his channel, Geekception. You can just search for. I'll put the link in the description later anyway. And he has an awesome channel. He's coming out a new channel, so once that's out, subscribe to that as well. Yes. And hopefully you'll get some amazing content. And
don't forget to subscribe to Inbaraj as well. Where you're watching this right now. Definitely there is. I'm excited to see what he's going to do next. How I'm going to discover more of who he is. His life, his experience.
It's very challenging though.
Right?
It's very hard to decide what you want to share and what is too much.
You'll get there. Trial and error, but you have to try to be able to
especially when you have family, you have kids and all, right? Definitely. There's also the issue of privacy, and the internet is not a very safe place.
It really
so
isn't.
you also have to consider. A lot of people want me to share stuff about my kids and all that because my kids are adorable. People like them.
Of course,
but
they are very adorable.
I'm also very paranoid, so I usually have to think twice before I share a photo or video of my kids. So it's quite challenging. Alright guys, so that's it for this episode. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button. If you haven't already subscribed, you know what to do. And press on that bell icon to get those notifications. So every time I upload a video, you will get that notification. Hopefully today's content was good. Emmanuel is a great chap. I think whatever he shared was really interesting. I learned a lot of things today. I hope you guys learned something as well. So till I see you in another video, bye-bye.